We're really glad you're here. Sleep is a big topic. I think there were over 150 people registered for today, right? That it is timely. I don't know about you, but I could certainly use better sleep and more of it. I've always been a bit of a sleep enthusiast, but a year and a half ago, I had twins, and all of a sudden, baby twins made sleep feel like a life or death situation. And so I come to this topic today with more empathy and more self compassion for myself and for others who are really in that place of struggle with sleep. And I can't promise any magic answers today, but we are going to be talking about how to set yourself up for success as best as you can. And what are the habits? What are those repeatable behaviors that you can do more often than not to help your body recognize, like, oh, hey, we're heading into the sleep zone here? So that's what we're going to talk about. And it's going to be fast and furious, friends. It's about 15 to 20 minutes of content. And I'll definitely let you know at the end how you can connect in and do a deeper dive with us with sleep. So as I mentioned earlier, for those of you coming on board, I'm Amy Rodquist-Kodet. I'm a health coach through UK Health and Wellness, a wellness specialist, and kind of a sleep junkie. I've spent a lot of my time reading about sleep, trying new practices for sleep, and I'd love to share some of the tools that I have found to be really, really helpful. So the reason you're here is because you probably need more sleep, right? And it's a vicious cycle because when we're not getting enough sleep, we are not able to access our willpower and our motivation to get more sleep as well as we could if we were rested, right? I heard one sleep scientist say that sleep begets sleep. So, since the majority of us can't sleep later in the morning, most of us, the best option for getting more sleep is to get to bed earlier, right? But we don't. I don't get into bed as often as I would like as much of the time. So, what is that about? And what can we do to support ourselves with habits that help us get more sleep? So, some of you have maybe heard of revenge bedtime. The New York Times did a really interesting article on this a couple months ago. And it's this idea that we're kind of self sabotaging because many of us are so busy during the day that nighttime, after hours, are kind of the only time, specifically late in the evening, that many of us have to ourselves. And so we stay up late because it's our only downtime, and we hoard it, right? We want it. We want that freedom and autonomy. We want to watch that Netflix show. We want to read. We want to scroll our phones. But many of us get into this cycle where we are then staying up way later than we want to be and are feeling the consequences of it the next morning, right? And it's a double-edged sword, since we talked about that we have less willpower when we're tired. And so it's harder to force ourselves to go to bed. So what can we do? So a lot of this research comes from Dr. Ron Friedman, and his work on sleep science. And so here are some of my favorite habits, some favorite reputable and repeatable behaviors that you can do to support yourself. Number one, give yourself a bedtime, just like you used to do with your kiddos, just like you used to have when maybe you were 5, right? It's a specific time that you want your head on the pillow. And oftentimes when I work with folks around meeting their sleep goals, they'll say, but yeah, I just really want to go to bed earlier. I don't want to go to bed so late. These are really vague aspirations. And so what we need is a really specific time that you want your head on the pillow. And experts suggest really giving yourself at least 30 minutes each night to wind down. So what I like to do is to kind of start with that magic bedtime number, right? So for me, my magic bedtime is 11 o'clock. And then I work backwards because I know like I have some things that I want to do to help my body begin to roll into the sleep zone. And so I've got an alarm that goes off at 10:15. And it's just an alarm on my phone Sunday through Thursday nights that lets me know like, okay, let's get this sleep rhythm started. So that may be something to think about. How long is it going to take for you to get the things done that you want to do before bed that helps to signal to your body, okay, let's start the bedtime process. So, in this process, you want to keep it a drama free zone. So, we have a rule at our house: no delicate topics after 9 p.m. Right. So this means as much as possible, stay away from the arguing, stay away from those really difficult negotiations that maybe you need to do with your teenager. This means no work prep. This means no arousal that is going to kind of trigger anything that is associated with your stress response. So think about, how do I keep this space before bed as peaceful and as calm as possible? Another thing is, what can you do to entice your body to be in bed by whatever your bedtime is, right? You want to create an enjoyable routine, one that entices you to wind down and enables you to go from activity to rest with predictability. Our bodies and our brains love routine. So when you can have some of the same activities that you replicate each night, your body begins to associate doing some of those things before bed as a way to transition into sleep. Because I found this so fascinating, but the research suggests that being tired is not a guarantee for falling asleep. Right? It's kind of counterintuitive. You think if you're so exhausted, if you're tired, that you would be able to fall asleep. But for anybody who is dealing with anxiety, for anybody who's got worry, for anybody who's maybe stuck in rumination trap, you know this well. Your body may be exhausted, but unless you are relaxed, you are not going to be able to fall asleep easily. So what we want to tune into here about creating this bedtime routine for yourself, habits of a routine, is that you want it to be restful. So what does that look like, right? What are bedtime habits that can help you relax? Read something that makes you happy, right? So fiction and poetry, philosophy, spiritual. I have here in bright capital neon blue letters, no work in bed. So this is not a time to do your planning. This is not a time to respond to emails. You want to keep that computer out of the bedroom, if at all possible. Right? So think about, what is something that you feel a connection towards? What do you love to learn about? What really relaxes you? Reading is a really powerful way and an awesome habit to help your body begin to rest and relax. The temperature and your environment really matters here. So lowering the temperature, the National Sleep Foundation suggests keeping your room between 60 to 67 degrees overnight. So not only does that matter, like if you have your window open or the air condition on or your fan on, but also what is your bedding like, right? Recently, I don't know, it was probably about 3 weeks ago, I realized my winter down comforter was still on our bed. And I was like, oh man, we got to get that out, right? So if you find yourself waking up sweaty and hot in the middle of the night, think about your bedding, think about your environment. What can you do to lower the temperature and to have it feel cooler? Blue light, ooh-wee. It is not your friend when it comes to helping your body rest and relax. Why? Because it suppresses your body's melatonin, right? That hormone that helps to make us sleepy that naturally occurs in the body. So the problem with blue light is that it's in most of our devices, right? So unless you have your night filter on, so if you are going to be on your computer, if you are going to be on your iPad or your cell phone, right? Definitely put on that night light setting that makes everything darker. And if you can avoid all of that artificial computer light, if at all possible, at least 30 minutes before your bed, your body is going to be a lot less stimulated and therefore much more able to rest and relax. So this sounds a little silly, but what can you do to create a spa-like environment, right? So think about, what can you do? Dim the lights, play soothing music, maybe have a cup of tea or diffuse some essential oils. There's a lot of great bedtime blends out there. I personally love lavender, and I'll put it in a diffuser. I'll put it at the bottom of my feet or on my PJs as a way to help my body kind of recognize very sensorially, right? That begin to smell the lavender and associate it with sleep. Another really powerful habit that I've heard from quite a few of my clients is that the power of gratitude is a really powerful way to boost your mood and your overall sense of well-being. Many social scientists suggest that gratitude is one of our biggest bangs for our well-being buck. So think about maybe having a gratitude journal, a gratitude list. I had one client that kept little postcards, stationary postcards by her bed, and she would write out a thank you postcard to people that she loved and cared about a few times a week as a way to help her body relax and wind down and focus on gratitude. So that may be a wonderful way to help your brain focus on the good that is right here, right now, instead of kind of turning on that rumination gerbil wheel that so often happens at night. Meditation, another powerful way to help calm the body and the brain, right? So research suggests that practicing mindfulness lowers stress and elevates moods. There are a lot of really good meditation apps. You may want to even type them into the chat right now, of a meditation app that you use that you really like. Personally, my favorite is Insight Timer. It's one I've had for a couple years now. They've got great music. They have some really awesome guided imagery and meditations that I like a lot. And there's a free version of it. There's also a paid version. Calm app is another wonderful app. And at the end of our conversation too, I'm going to tell you about Sleep Rate. That is a partner with UK that you are able to have a free sleep rate app. You think it usually costs you about $9 a month, but if you get it through UK, it's free and is a great way to help track your sleep and help support healthy sleep habits as well. A body scan, a really great way to help you calm and relax. Any sort of meditation that helps with muscle relaxation, also a really great way to entice sleep, right? So as well as these kind of habits that we can practice, I know that some of us really struggle with the 3 a.m. wake ups, right? And there isn't a magic pill for this. The 3 a.m. wake ups are the toughest. At least that's where I really find it to be a struggle. Some of the things that I have found helpful is to keep a notepad and pen by the bedstand, right? If you can avoid getting your device out, if you can avoid having your device in your bedroom altogether, that's even better. One tool that I really like is something that I call the circle of control. And at night, When I am stuck in worry, what I'll do is I'll put a big circle on a piece of paper, and on the inside of the circle, I'll write things I can control. And on the outside of the circle, I write things I can't control. And then I do a worry dump. And all the stuff that's just rolling around in my brain, I sort between what I can and cannot control. And can you fix any of that at 3 in the morning? No. Probably not. But what happens is the brain, it almost as if it is able to kind of give some of that worry and rumination to the paper, knowing that it's been captured and that you can pick it up in the morning and work with it when you actually have the capacity and energy to do something about the things that you can control. I really like this book by Jennifer Williamson. It is called 200 Phrases for Deep and Peaceful Sleep. I'm a fan of phrases. I'm a fan of mantras. And she's got some good ones in there, because I know for me, one of the most powerful things I can do in the middle of the night is to allow myself the permission to be awake. Because the more I tell myself I should be sleeping, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow, I can't believe it, I'm still up, right? The anxiety just begins to build and build. And so some of these nighttime mantras are a calming tool, like an anchor that I can hold on to in the middle of the night to allow the wakefulness to be there. Because the reality is you're up, you're awake. So what are ways that you can kind of help calm your body, remind yourself, you know what? I'll sleep when I'm ready. It will be okay. In this moment, I choose peace. I will fall asleep when my body is ready, right? These are some things that I tell myself, and it really helps to kind of quell the frenzy of the fear that I have that I'm never going to fall asleep. The breath. The 4-7-8 breath is one of my favorites. This is created by Dr. Andrew Weil. He's at the University of Arizona. And what it is it really helps to get your parasympathetic nervous system to get that calm response back online for yourself, right? So it's quite simple. You breathe in to the count of 4, hold for the count of 7, breathe out for the count of 8. So you'll notice that your inhale is only half the time of your exhale. What we know about triggering that calm response is the magic is really in the breath manipulation and in the exhale. So having an exhale that's twice as long as the inhale is really going to be helpful as a way to help your body cultivate that natural calm response. If you've been up for more than 20 minutes, research suggests get out of bed. Keep as many lights off as possible, right? Maybe just have a little headlamp on or just have little night lights on. Take yourself out to the couch, practice some breathing, look out the window at the dark, right? Do what you need to do, but see if you can get yourself out of bed. I will make this available, this PowerPoint available. Ariana Huffington wrote a really, really great book all about sleep. A lot of these tips we've talked about already. Number 3, I think is important. Don't charge your bed next to your phone, right? Or even better, get it out of your bedroom. Pets in the bedroom can be really, really difficult to keep a continuous amount of sleep. What the research suggests is that pets are waking us up, even if we don't remember that they do. So that's kind of the bad news if Mr. Snuffles is in bed with you. But if you're really struggling with sleep, that may be something to consider. And this other one, number 8, I thought was a great one too. Pajamas, night dresses, even special t-shirts send a sleep-friendly message to your body. So if you've worn it to the gym, don't wear it to bed. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just fall into bed with the clothes that I've already been wearing all day, right? What the research suggests is that it's another way to help prepare your body for sleep is to change into pajamas, whatever pajamas means for you. Another way to help our body kind of prepare for sleep, right? So lastly, make a sleep action plan. So kind of ask yourself, what time do you want to be in bed, right? What's your bedtime? Work backwards. What pre-sleep relaxation habit resonates with you most? What do you want to try? Of all the different ideas that we mentioned here today, which one resonates with you? Right? And where is your slippery spots? I'm a coach. I have to ask the question, right? Where do you anticipate having trouble? Where do you imagine you might struggle, right? And how can you get support with that? So speaking of support, Jacob's going to put the Sleep Rate app in the notes section here. So if that's something that's interesting to you and you want to learn more about it, it's a great deal. Like I said, it's free. Regularly, it would be about $9 a month. A really great way to support your sleep. Next week's presentation is with my colleague, Carrie Davidson, and she is going to be talking about how movement and exercise can really support you in sleep. And lastly, if you are needing kind of a deeper dive into this, reach out to us. I'm a health coach here, as I mentioned at the beginning, with UK Health and Wellness. And one of my favorite things to do are sleep consults. So if you want to put together a sleep action plan for you, if you're anticipating a lot of challenges and want to do a little problem solving, schedule a free consult with a health coach. I would love to support you in any way that I can. So folks, that was the Fast and Furious conversation on sleep. Thanks so much for being here. Take care, be well, and sweet dreams.